Gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos, is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, efforts taken by other members in this body to act as judge, jury, and executioner are unconscionable and reckless to our Republican system of government and to the integrity of this body. I stand today to continue to prove my innocence of these allegations and charges leveled against me. I'd like to say I understand the point of view of my colleagues, but I don't. One can't say that they are pro-Constitution and at the same time act as judge, jury, and executioner. Where is the consistency, Mr. Speaker? The actions taken within this body are delicate, and consistency is essential. And now is not the time to set dangerous precedent. Consider this. The last time a member of Congress was expelled was in 2002, following a criminal conviction. In fact, both expulsions in the last 2 centuries took place after the defendants had been convicted. To my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, I'd like to remind you that many of you are supporting another member of Congress who is under investigation and is the second time he is indicted. And even one who recently pleaded guilty to a crime. Rather than calling for their resignation, here we are. I must warn my colleagues that voting for expulsion at this point would circumvent the judicial system's right to due process that I'm entitled to, and desanctify the long-held premise that one is presumed innocent until proven guilty. It is unconscionable to think that this body, who is at war with the DOJ over their politically motivated practices, would blindly accept their accusation against a member of another branch of government. We were each elected to Congress because our constituents supported our pledge to uphold the Constitution, protect their liberties, and put their needs first. We swore with our palms to the Bible to do so. This expulsion, unfortunately, is politically motivated by some members within this body. They believe that by attempting to expel me, they will garner political points, capitalize on political fundraising, and receive congratulations from those who do not approve of my voting record. During this Congress, we have seen the world set aflame, our allies attacked, recession looming, crime out of control, an unprecedented border crisis, and the diminishment of American power, prestige, and respect at home and around the globe. We should focus on solving these pressing issues that plague our nation and that affect our citizens every single day. Instead, we are prioritizing petty politics and undermining the integrity of our system of government, all for political cheap gains. Pettifog all you want, but you can never say I am not committed to serving my constituents of NY3. I have strived to build relationships and institutional acumen to represent and legislate for my people back home. Since I took office, over 1,100 cases of constituent works have been solved, key relationships with stakeholders in the district have been built, and a fresh voice of common sense and servant leadership has returned to New York. My office has no string attached to political parties and apparatuses back home, so I'm free to represent them openly here without the overlords of the GOP over my head in New York and Nassau County. My office has done instrumental work regarding passports, collaborating with state and local agencies, working with the Department of State throughout this ongoing Israel crisis for constituents overseas, and countless other requests. In addition, I'm proud to have 2 fully staffed district offices serving the constituents of New York's 3rd District, participating in the Service Academy nominations for dozens of exceptional candidates from Long Island and northeastern Queens, and being involved in the Congressional Art Competition. One of my highest honors of being in Congress was presenting a Purple Heart Medal to a World War I hero surviving family member after years of them attempting to garner this from my predecessor. I will never cease to honor those who have defended this republic and our homeland. From my involvement in assisting residents of New York 3 being held hostage by Hamas terrorists to my contributions in the effort to close the migrant shelter at the Creedmoor facility in Belrose, being a champion for the Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, and my resolve to clamp down on China's growing influence against American interests, there is one thing consistent and unwavering, and that is the dedication to self-service. This motivates me to work day in and day out on behalf of them and to represent their interests and value. I am proud to have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, in the 118th Congress, and the most conservative voting record in New York's delegation. I will never apologizing for voting in line with conservative principles and my district. Let us remember, our commitment to justice ensures that the presumption of innocence is upheld in all cases. I requested that my evaluation be based on the work I do in this body, and you granted me a reprieve earlier this year on the advice of former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. I'm asking the chamber to please uphold those same principles today. I hope that my colleagues come to their senses and recognize that perilous consequences of a trial by media is damaging. The loss of the presumption of innocence establishes a dangerous precedent that threatens the very foundation of our legal system, and we risk losing the trust that the American people have placed in us by passing judgment without due process. If we work together, we can protect the integrity of our system and the rights of all citizens. I'm fighting tooth and nail to clear my name in front of the entire world, Mr. Speaker. It hasn't been easy, but I'm fighting by God's grace. On a final note, as we wear these pins and stand within these chambers as elected members of Congress, we cannot speak out of both sides of our mouth, promising to uphold the principles of the Constitution while simultaneously trampling on the principles that underpin our fundamental rights granted by the Constitution is hypocrisy. I hope that the House will understand the scope of this vote and have the courage to do what is right, not what is politically expedient. I stand firmly in my innocence and my passion to represent the people of New York's 3rd District as the voters would have, if the voters would continue to have me. For it is their responsibility and their responsibility alone to elect or remove me from Congress. Mr. Speaker, thank you for allowing me to make my case directly to you, sir. For God, for country, for liberty. God bless the United States of America. I reserve.
Gentlemen.